Hello, hello, everyone. Come on in and join us. Glad to have you guys this evening. Cherie will be here momentarily. Hope everyone had a wonderful day. Let me bring some of my guests up. Hi, Miss Precious. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm well, my dear. Doing well.
All right, let me get myself together. Got to put some lipstick on. Don't want to look too rough up and dangerous.
Yeah, I didn't have time to run and put lipstick on.
Girl, come on now. You know how we do.
They got to do with a little chapstick today. That's all I can do.
That's about probably all I can do. How about that?
Hello, everybody. Hello,
my dear. Let me make you host.
Yes, and that way I'm able to stream it out.
Right.
Thank you.
Oh, and let me get.
Do you have Oliver?
I've got Ataya. Hope I pronounced that right. That's a beautiful name.
If you're able to make her
the
panelist. Everybody, don't forget to put your city and state in the chat. Let us know where you're coming from. Put your city and state in the chat.
Oh, I made you host, Cherie, so I can't get them now.
Oh, okay. That's fine. I can do that. Okay. We hope everyone is doing well today. I'm excited for today's conversation because it is all about new year, new us, getting that plan together, that wellness plan, that health plan, that money plan. We're here, we're getting it all together. Precious, are you gonna come? Oh, I was gonna ask him, are you gonna come on?
Girls trying to get stuff in the background. You know how we do. Come on now.
All right. Yes, I know you are a professional.
Yeah, I'll be trying.
So we want to definitely welcome everyone here today. I've got the beautiful Tawana here with me. Hello, Tawana.
Hello, my dear. Hello, everyone.
Yes, and then we also have Atia here. Did I say that right?
Yes, Atia.
I'm sorry?
Yes, it's Atia.
Atia, yes. And then we have Oliver here as well. Hello, Oliver.
Hello, everyone.
And we also want to say hello to everyone on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter. So I am Cherie. I am the CEO of the 10K Project. We are the largest community of investors who actively fund Black-owned businesses. Minimum investment is $100. The investments are governed by the Securities and Exchange Commission and FINRA. And if you want to know more about the 10K Project, I'm actually going to toss it over to my beautiful co-founder, Ms. Tawana Rivers. And she's going to tell you all about it as I do the rest of my internal setup.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tawana Rivers. I'm the Chief Operating Officer here at 10K Project. Like Cherie said, we are the largest community of small dollar investors. We focus on equity investment, equity crowdfunding. We find that to be our sweet spot because so many of our Black entrepreneurs are raising money in this way. And we want to be able to support them. Cherie always says, we buy Black, why aren't we investing Black? Well, now we can say we are. And so, we love the 10K Project. To all of our members, thank you guys for showing up and showing out all the time for us and being here to support us. For anyone new, I just wanted to give you a little bit of information about how we operate here. So we focus in kind of two areas. We highlight the Black entrepreneur. We provide them with some educational opportunities that allow them to grow and scale their business. but more importantly, we help them raise the funds that they need via equity crowdfunding. And then from an investor standpoint, we bring to our investors opportunities via those Black entrepreneurs, right? Opportunities to invest in early startups, but then also we train our investors on alternative investment opportunities as well. So right now, we're actively going through a 9-week mastermind on how to buy businesses. And there are 28 of us going through that right now. And the coolest thing about it is at the end of that actually it's an 8-week course. At the end of the 8 weeks, so on week 9, we're going to actively buy a business together. So that's how cool this is. Yes, girl, that we are doing it. And it is such an awesome course. I mean, we know that baby boomers are looking to retire. They are retiring in astronomical numbers. And some of them didn't have or don't have anyone to leave the business to, right? So they want to sell it. Maybe their nephews and nieces and daughters and sons didn't want to do that thing, right? They want to do their own thing. And so now these businesses are successful businesses. They have staff, they have revenue, they've got processes. It's literally, you are buying a business on Monday and Friday, there's a check. I mean, you don't get any better than that. And so we're teaching community members how to do that so that they can continue to build their investment portfolio. This is the first cohort of that mastermind, but we're heading into week 4. It's going really well. I mean, unless something implodes, I can't imagine we're not going to do this over and over again, because it's really, really interesting. And Cherie and I, it was important for us to take it as well, so we can make sure that what's being presented to our community members is legit, right? So we're actually taking it so that we can vouch for it to make sure that it's something we want to expose all of you to. And I see a few other members in here that are in that course as well. So those are the kind of things we're doing. We've brought people to the community that have taught us how to invest in hotels, stock options trading. One of the things that we talked about from an entrepreneur standpoint, Precious actually came and helped us how to pitch, how to do the perfect pitch. So we're bringing the community together to learn from each other. That's really what tonight is also. Tonight is our member highlight. So we don't only highlight Black entrepreneurs who are raising money actively, we highlight even our Black entrepreneurs within our community. They may not be raising money, but they're working on amazing things, and we want to share them with you. And so that's what tonight's session is. So we are going to meet them personally, and then hear what they're doing. And then hopefully you guys will be interested in joining us on this journey. Membership has its privilege, and it's very, very simple. We charge a one-time membership fee of $100. So, yep.
Soon to go up.
Yeah, you didn't hear that wrong. $100 one time. And that gives you access to the things that I talked about earlier, all of the education. Now, the masterminds do come with a different fee, but you get access to that, right? So you get to be able to participate in that if you are a member, because it is only a member benefit. So one time $100 fee, you get all of that. You get access to the businesses that we bring. We also have a really cool package that we call the Platinum Package. So we partnered with Freeman Capital. They are a Black-owned financial planning company. And we partnered with them because as we were starting the pitches and telling people to budget and to save so that they can have this disposable income to invest, we realized we probably should offer them something to help them with that. So we partnered with Freeman Capital to offer, as part of that Platinum Package, 6 months of financial planning. So for $347, you get the regular membership, so everything that comes with regular membership, but you also get the 6 months of financial planning from Freeman Capital. Unlimited contacts in that 6 months. They literally walk you through everything from mindset shift to building wealth. And at the end of it, you actually have a wealth building plan that you can follow. We've had several members go through it. If you're in the chat right now and you've gone through that or in the process of going through the financial planning, please tell us how you like it. One of the things I will be doing is getting some testimonials from those people. We offered it, I believe we offered it in, time goes by so fast, but I feel like we offered it in June. And so we're heading right into that 6 months where many people will be completing it. So we'll have some testimonials on the website once they can go all the way through it. That's kind of what we do in a nutshell. I don't want to take away from our member highlights. That's the real high level of what we do. Go to our website, b10kproject.com, if you want to know more. We've got a great explainer video. You can walk through some of the testimonials from both our investors and our entrepreneurs that we've helped raise money for. So you can see those testimonials as well. And I hope you enjoyed tonight's session.
Thank you so much. So tonight is the last night that we are going to have this session in 2021. So next week, we are going to take off in celebration. And then the following week after that, January 3rd, our favorite economist, the 10K economist, Dr. Cherie Phillips herself, will be here on January 3rd. There is so much happening in the economy. The infrastructure bill, the passed, the Build Back Better bill did not. Everyone, including the super rich, are worried about inflation. Student loans, y'all, do not ignore your student loans, okay? They are going to schedule the repayment of student loans starting in February. Do not ignore them, right? If you can't afford it, talk to your service provider. But Dr. Cherie is coming on January 3rd. Only she can break it down in a 10K style fashion. So y'all are going to want to be here, get your money together for 2022.
And shout out to Dr. Cherie, because I mean, you think economists in your head kind of like what's getting ready to happen here, right? You're like, oh, what's that? But she breaks that thing down so elementary. Like you walk away thinking, I just understood all of that. Wow. And then you can even associate it with how it really affects you. So shout out to the best economist ever.
Yes. So, but let's talk about tonight. So y'all know I always put out a call for our members to tell us what they're working on, whether it's your project or your business or whatever. And the process that I go through is I kind of look for people who are doing interesting things, but also synergistic things. So that way the session feels like it all comes together. And Tia was the initial person that's the foundation of this. So Tia sent me a note saying that she is a specialist that has created a well-being action plan and helps people create well-being action plans. And I thought, well, that sounds interesting because you always hear about a health plan, but what's a well-being action plan? I kind of feel like that's a bit meatier, right? And then Oliver sent me a note. He's a pharmacist, y'all. So he's got like some education to him. However, Oliver is special because he discusses herbal supplements that can be used to replace some of these orthodox medications that we're on, right? And then my girl Precious said, I'll come. And y'all know Precious kind of wraps it up. She is the pitch master. She's going to talk about how we get our money together. So look, your girl is thinking, how do I get my health together? How do I get my mind together? And how do I get my money together? 2022 is about to be lit, right? Put an exclamation point in the chat if you are ready for this session tonight. Let me see the exclamation points for our lovely members here. I'm seeing them come through. Fantastic. Okay, so Tia, let's start with you first. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what in the world is a well-being plan?
So I am Tia Goldsmith Irby from Philadelphia, PA. And I want to first start off with, I am someone who has allergies and asthma, and in the workplace, I was constantly getting sick from chemicals or hair products from my coworkers. And so I started to create these workshops called How to Stay Healthy in and Outside the Corporate Office. And with that, I've always been known as the resource person, right? Whether I read something in a book or saw something in the news or be like, you can get that bushel of crab for $30, right? I'm constantly reading, and it's always known like, I have a little, somebody says something, I'm like, oh, I saw that somewhere. So me not being the specialist, just someone as I'm known as a well-being advocate in the sense, I created these events and invited people like herbalists, chefs to teach us how to create our own meals, financial experts, right? Because our financial well-being is a part of our total well-being. So now because of COVID, right, we aren't doing these workshops, in person. Now, beginning in January, I will be doing a 5-week program, and each week we'll focus on physical well-being, emotional well-being, spiritual well-being, social well-being, and financial well-being. So the other guests that you have kind of fall right in line with some of the weeks that are part of the overall, right? Because if you get a cut in your hand, that one little cut can just change everything about how you feel. So we want to talk about the overall. If one thing is out of whack, like your finances, regardless how physical well you are, that's going to affect your overall well-being. And so that's what I'll be focusing on. So welcome. Thank you for having me, and welcome to all the guests.
So follow-up question for you. Give us a couple of tips with regards to, let's say we're out of whack right now. We've got 10 days left before the new year. What are some things that we can start doing over the next couple of weeks to realign ourselves?
Right. So with that, I'll go in the spirit of Christmas, right? Everybody's going to be doing the gifts. The gift would be your mental well-being. So I invested in myself and went to go see an emotional coach, right? And in that, it costs a lot of money. Not if but I would just say invest in your well-being, as far as if it's a psychologist, if it's a life coach, if it's an emotional specialist. And we were able to dig back to some things of me carrying a burden from 5 or 6 years old, right? And it was just like, wow, I didn't even realize that. Like, she was able to ask me specific questions for me to be able to do affirmations and release those things. So while you're doing gifts for everybody else, is make sure that you're on a list as a gift, right, for your well-being. I would say definitely begin sorting out for the new year, because it's going to probably be busy, is some healthcare professionals like licensed psychologists, even a life coach. So I do these vision board parties of, for your career and stuff like that. So really just being like, just kind of going back over the last year and saying, was I happy? How much trauma did I experience? How did I feel? Did I get the promotion I want? Begin just assessing how your year was. And then, that can be around money, your career. And so just kind of, during these couple of days you may have off this extended weekend, just take a couple of hours and just kind of map out, where you are, just in those simple areas: physical well-being, emotional, spiritual. Was I connected? Did I go to the services, the amount of times that I hope for? And so they can still just use those same things. It won't be as in depth as I will walk them through in a coaching session, but they can still just say, how did I feel in all of those areas: physical, emotional, spiritual, social, financial, and then begin to make a plan if they need to take away something or increase something. And that would be a main tip that I would have.
I love that, Tia. So often that reflection piece is missing, right? We go straight to the resolutions, right?
Right.
And I want to lose weight. We go straight to that, and we never reflect. And something you just said just hit my spirit when you said, how much trauma have I experienced this year?
Exactly.
But girl, something happened just now inside when you said that. We never do that. And no offense to our Black brothers. I don't know what you think on a daily basis, because I'm a woman, right? But so you guys got to tell me if you feel the same way. But I know as a Black woman, you experience the trauma and then you shake it off because you got to keep going. So you never revisit what it did to you. And so what I hear you saying is that reflection piece. That's deep. Wow. We only a couple of minutes in. You done already got me going.
About to get the Holy Ghost.
We just on autopilot and we never even stop it, because here comes an appointment for the kids, or like myself, my youngest child went off to college and is going through all of that, and it's like you really have to kind of sit in there a little bit and be truthful to yourself. Yeah.
How do people join your program? And also, if you put it in the chat, make sure it says everyone so that everyone can see it. But also tell everybody as well, for people listening to the replay, how they join your program.
You want me to put it in the chat, you said?
Yeah, put it in the chat and also just say it as well if there's a website or if your email
Yeah,
address
so
or
you can go right, it's going to launch the actual program besides online is in January, but they can follow the Facebook business page, which is Goldsmith Wellness Solutions, right on Facebook, and I'll also put it in the chat.
Goldsmith Wellness Solutions.
Yes.
So I'll say a couple of additional things. The first is, and I think I've spoken, no, I know I've spoken about this before in front of this group. In the summertime, I was dragging and I like physically, like barely could get out of bed, just a wreck, right? Which was very odd for me. And I ended up going to a holistic doctor, $300. You know how you go into the doctor and you expect a 15-minute, it was like an hour and a half, right? And he did like full like medical exam, asked me what I was eating, blah, blah, blah. Said, okay, you have an energy management problem. He gave me supplements, etc. That money was some of the best money I spent this year. And then he had a follow-up with me like a month later. How are you doing? We checked your lab tests, blah, blah, blah. Like I had to spend more money on that, but I thought it was a quick 3-minute call. You know how these doctors are. No, it was like 30 minutes. Like he like literally went through all of my numbers, etc. And because of those sessions and the supplements that he gave me, and then, it's like obviously the workout, eat better, stuff like that, I'm doing infinitely better. So I'm going to say to people, don't be cheap when it comes to your health.
Your health.
Sometimes you may need to, if you can afford it, if you cannot afford it and you need to go under your health insurance, I completely understand. But if you can afford it and you need to go out and network, that's sometimes better for you, and not just for health, but for wellness as well. If there are no, let's say, Tawana, there are no Black female psychologists that can understand where you're coming from and you need to see a Black female, you may need to go out and network. You may need to talk to a life coach or somebody like that who can really help you. So that's the one thing I will say. The second thing I'll say is sometimes it's not the big stuff that's holding you. Sometimes it's the little stuff. So I just moved into this office. I have this picture. This picture has been on my floor for the past 3 weeks. Dog it by December 31st, this picture will be on the wall. Some of you, it's that annoying, the door creaks, right? Every day you open that damn door and that damn door creaks, right? Or your favorite pair of shoes, the dog chewed it and you need to bring it to this is a true story. The dog really did chew my shoes. I'm like, damn. Like, oh, but sometimes it's not the big stuff. Sometimes the well-being is in a couple of those little things that are annoying you every single day. You take the next 10 days, figure out a day and time, go get it fixed, get your pictures hung, get whatever it is you need to get done. You need to, clean out a certain room in your house, whatever it is, because that sometimes will help with your well-being as well. So that's my opinion on it. Go ahead, Tia.
I just wanted to add, because I am a well-being advocate, I definitely root for people to make sure that they are utilizing their employee assistance programs, because they sometimes give you free counseling sessions, free lawyers to help you with different things that you're going through. When I was a part of one, it was $25 a month through the insurance, and you were actually able to go to various gyms throughout each state. So if you traveled, if you went to visit your mama, you can do that. So I just root for people to, if their company have an employee assistance program, be sure to view it and see what benefits you can get from it.
And someone did ask, how do they find a good holistic doctor? So I will be honest with regards to how I found mine. I Googled And it turns out the state that I'm in, Maryland, has an association of holistic doctors. And I literally went through them all. And I ended up going to a white male. But I looked at his reviews. I looked at some things he did on social media, and I liked him, and he happened to be a good choice for me. But that was how I did it. Unfortunately, you may be able to talk to some people who are into holistic medicine and see who they use, but I've had people refer doctors to me that they liked, and I'm like, this person doesn't work for me. So, so anything else before we move on to Oliver?
No, I did have a recommendation for, she's a RN, but she does holistic health. And so as we go throughout, I'll put her information. I'm searching for her name, and, but you can move on. And I also have a book recommendation from a holistic approach that maybe they can look into, and I'll put it in the chat.
Perfect. And these days with telemedicine, a lot of these doctors are able to do, like, if you really like a doctor and they're out of the area from you, a lot of these doctors are able to do telemedicine. So yeah. All righty then. Well, thank you, Tia. And let's bring up Oliver. Oliver is the pharmacist that's going to get us healthy by getting us on these herbs that we need.
Absolutely. Hi, my name is Oliver Okoye. I am actually a doctor of pharmacy, MD. So I came here. So I came here actually I'm from Africa, I'm from Nigeria. So I came when I was almost like 18 years old. So I came for undergrad, I did my medical technologist, graduated with my bachelor's degree at Minnesota State University. So after doing that for a while, I worked in the hospital for like 2 years. So while doing that, helping with labs, so I figured, okay, if patients already have like illnesses already, how do we try to prevent things that patients already have? So I thought to myself, okay, what's the best thing to do in terms of like implementing policies that's usually overall helpful for like the Black community or even people around. So I decided to go into pharmacy. I did my master's in public health first. So I did my master's because I wanted to go into policies, because I noticed a lot of Black communities that I experience is like there's this there'll be a Black community, and actually a lot of areas where Blacks live in, there's usually liquor stores, there's no good grocery stores around. There's nothing that like bike rails to encourage like kids to play around, and these areas are usually not very safe. So I went into that to see if there's a way to begin to implement policies, to begin to change things. And because obesity is one of the issues also affecting the Black community, whereby a lot of there's like a lot of illnesses that can be reversed, or a lot of illnesses that can be prevented, huge in the Black community. So that was one of the reasons I went into it. So went into to do my master's in public health, which was at Florida State University. I finished that, and I was like, okay, did this, I can implement policies. What if people already have, like, we're already sick, or we're already ill? They had diabetes already, they had heart problem. So I said, I need to do something else. I can find a magic bullet, a drug that can help patients. So I went into to decide to do pharmacy. That's where I decided to go into. I got admission into at university, Washington State University, to become a pharmacist. And graduated, started doing that, did retail for a while, and while doing that, a lot of patients kept coming in, Oliver, oh, because most of the time when they come to pharmacy, even though I'm the only Black person walking around, everyone else is white or Hispanic, they're always like asking for me. So they're always like asking, like, okay, when I take this drug, there's side effects that they're always experiencing. So trying to mitigate all the side effects sometimes causes even, and trying to take drug and be adherent to the drug, they sometimes cause side effects that need more drugs. So I started thinking to myself, okay, what can I do to help my patients in general? So I thought about like natural supplements, herbal supplements that have zero to rare to no side effects that actually patients can take and that are long lasting and sometimes can help reverse illnesses. So then I got in, I started my business, and that was how I came to, I founded Olivex. It's www.olivex.store. So I decided to get into that, and now I have my business to be able to supply patients with different herbal supplements. I'm going to tell you a quick story. I had someone recently who was actually had diabetes, and they went to the doctor, and the doctor was like, "Oh, the leg is like already, it's not, the leg needs to be amputated. You know, it has deteriorated. There's no blood flowing there." And all of a sudden, I suggested, I said, okay, you should go and see a herbal specialist. You should go and see someone who specializes in herbal supplements to help out, natural supplements, herbal supplements. And they actually went and saw the person, and the leg that they were trying to amputate actually started getting better. The supplements decreased the blood sugar. It opened up the veins so that they could have blood supply to the leg. So after a while, they were surprised. They were like, "Why didn't you tell me this earlier? Why did I have to like spend money and go to the hospital for a long time?" I'm like, yeah, herbal supplements help a lot. And I've seen people reverse diabetes, reverse things, high blood pressure, you know, from not just exercise, but eating healthy and just living a stress-free lifestyle. That has helped tremendously than just, oh, let's take metoprolol just to adhere to like medication, or let's take Norco just for pain or for sleeping to sleep. You know, there are lots of things you can do to live a healthy lifestyle. And herbal supplements is natural. You know, people always say it's what comes from plants, not what's made in plants.
Yeah, Dr. Oliver, I definitely want to respect you, because getting that doctor, I know it takes a lot. So one of the things you talked about was living a stress-free life. And depending on who we are, it can be hard. It can be extremely hard for us versus our counterparts to live a stress-free life. So are there supplements that you can, refer to us to kind of, make us calmer and more centered? Or like, what are some of your suggestions that people, consider? And is this medical advice too? Because if you need to have your disclaimer, then now's the time to say it.
Yes, this is the disclaimer. Yes, things I'm going to be talking about, you have to see your medical doctor to make sure it's appropriate for you, to make sure it aligns with whatever your background and your health condition. So this is a disclaimer. So yeah, make sure you.
Yeah, especially because you have that doctor in front of your name. So we want to make sure everybody knows.
That's right.
But yeah, but for stress-free living, like, if somebody is dealing with a lot of stress, what are some of the recommendations you have?
Okay, so if people are dealing with stress, the first thing I'll ask them is what's causing the stress? I like to tackle the root cause of the problem. People tend to want to dig into the symptoms. We want to dig into the symptoms and just, okay, I'm stressed out, I'm having headache, treat the headache. Oh, I'm having back pain, treat the back pain. I want to dig into the source. What's causing the stress? And the first, let's see if we can mitigate that. Are you getting enough sleep? What kind of food are you eating? You know, so we want to go through the source and find out, okay, what is causing that stress? Once we can find out what's causing that stress and we can remove that stress or reduce it to minimum, the stress usually goes away. And if not, you can always add some supplements that can help, like valerian. Valerian is a natural supplement that can help. It helps with sleep. People can get at least 8 to 10 hours of sleep. For example, you can take melatonin, which is also for sleep, that can be helpful. Yeah, so those are a few things. So I always go with the source. Once you find the source, you can be able to tackle the underlying cause of patients' problems.
Beulah is asking a great question here. Can you really live a stress-free life? We are all experiencing PTSD due to the uncertainty of the pandemic. Well, first thing I will say is, as a person who lives in a rural area, on acreage, I fortunately wasn't having PTSD from that. It's a great place to kind of hide out during this whole thing. But I can definitely understand, you know, if you're living city life or if you've got a job and they're forcing you to come in and, you know, people want to touch you and you're like, you know, but you're still trying to keep your job and move up the corporate ladder. What do you do, et cetera? So I'll open it up to the panel, especially to Precious as well, with regards to money. But, you know, living a stress-free life, do you all think that we can actually do that?
I don't, me personally.
I don't at all, but okay. I think it could be less stress.
Yes.
Yes,
But I don't know
but
about,
not stress-free. Yeah.
I think it sounds good. It's like those people who say you can make 6 figures in 6 days. I'm like, good luck with that. Good luck with that. But I do think there is value to what Dr. Oliver is saying, that there are some ways to really help with herbs. And maybe you need to get the wrong people out of your life. Maybe you need to dead some conversations. Maybe you need to quit hanging with the wrong people, or people who are time snatchers and just want to keep you. Listen, I got things to do. I got clients to see. I got customers to interact with. If you're having a meltdown right now, we've had this meltdown every day. I'm gonna need you to, like I told a friend of mine, and I realized when I was talking to him why I stopped talking to him a while ago. And it's not, I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way, but there are certain things that are what Atia said, you know, focusing on. A friend is not a therapist. A friend is not a holistic doctor. A friend is not a pharmacist. A friend is supposed to be there when times get rough, but I'm not equipped with the skills to help you. And so if you're having family issues and all kind of stuff, and we've been having the same issue for 20 years, I can't continue to have this conversation when I am clawing my way out of the mud and into the light. And my light is going to bother you after a while, as it has a lot of people over the last 3 years. So I need you to see someone to help you, and I'm going to be here. But I can't have 20-year-old conversations anymore about the same people who I've never met, never interacted with. And maybe there's a reason why, what Dr. Oliver said, what's the root of this? Do you like being there so you can have something to always argue about? Or is it more scary to live a less stressed life because you're so used to being in the drama of it all? I'm looking for less drama, and it's a beautiful place to be. And the last 2 weeks of the year into next year, I'm not working, and I work for myself, but I'm chilling. And I have to tell you, don't bring me no bad news right now. Just don't. Like, I don't want to argue with anybody about anything. I'm chilling. And that's the less stress life. I cannot be your social security card. I'm not here to pay for everything that has gone wrong. You got people for that. But I clawed my way out of the mud, and I clawed my way out of homelessness, and I clawed my way out of severe alcohol addiction. I clawed my way out of a bad childhood. And I'm not saying it was by myself, but I need you to know you have resources. And so start utilizing them. You don't have any funds. What can we do? Can we see if there are other programs that can help? I'm not going to leave you alone, but I am not the professionals, and my light is going to bother you after a while. So either I'm going to exit stage left, or we're going to get some help.
Yeah, we do have to prioritize, right, ourselves, right? And so often we don't put ourselves first. You just said something precious, and my sister's gonna watch this, and she's gonna get me later. But she called the other day, and she wasn't having a good day. And typically, I'm there for that, right? She's my big sister, but I'm typically there for that. But I told you I'm doing this business buying course, and we have homework, right? And this is important to me, and I needed to stay focused. And I was in the middle of doing my homework when she called, and I started not to answer, but then I was like, no, you can't not answer. So I answered, but when I realized it was going to be one of those, I need you to bring me, kind of get me all the way together, I didn't have time for that day, right? And I gave a couple of solutions, and she still wasn't there yet. And normally, we could be here a while. And I was like, I'm sorry, but I'm doing my homework and I can't do this right now. And she was like, oh. and I felt bad for a second, but then when I hung up, I said, that felt good to prioritize myself, right? And I still felt a little bad that I wasn't able to help her, because I know she sat there in that frustration for longer than I would have liked her to, right? It's my sister, I love her. I want to be there to help her. But I wasn't mad at my selfishness in that moment, because it felt good to prioritize me. It's not something I typically do. And we have to do more of that.
That's why I think it's just so important with this is tonight. Like listening to a Dr. Oliver, like I'm sitting up here like I am really practicing boundaries. I'm 42 years old. It took me this long to practice boundaries and to not be a punching bag and to not be Social Security and to not have people make all these expectations when I could make none of them. So I have no children. Gotta be honest, y'all. I ain't got no man, no side piece, no nothing. You know what I mean? Yet I'm living my best life. I ain't going back and forth with nobody. I'm just not. And I hope that my life and my testimony and my ability to run a successful company that got even more successful in a pandemic shows that the things that we think don't work actually do. And so as a killer pitchman, I'm sorry, Cherie, you were probably gonna say something. I was just
I was going to say to introduce yourself and let's get this money together. But before I do that, Oliver, let's get this money together. But you were already headed there. Oliver, you put your website in just for the host and panelists. So change that box to say everyone down on the bottom right-hand side. Change it from host and panelists to everyone, and then put your website in there so that everybody can find you. And also some people were asking you about D-Herbs and some other places, but go to Oliver's store. If you want to support a 10K member, or y'all gonna have to pay Dr. Oliver for his services for one-on-one consulting. So yes, okay. And then Precious is here to help us get the financial piece together. Go ahead, Oliver, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I was gonna say one more thing. I know people said, oh, it's hard to get remove stress totally out of our life. You guys are totally right. There's stress everywhere, right, left, kids, clothes, what we eat, everything that we do, especially in the States. However, if you think about bodies is made to actually handle acute stress, right? We have cortisol that our body releases. For example, if you have to 5 a.m. to go to work, our body can handle that. And you come back and relax or catch up during the weekend. That is okay. The thing I always tell people about is chronic stress. That is detrimental. If you're having something that has been stressing you out for a whole year, for 2 years, 3 years, months at a time, your body can no longer handle it. That's why sometimes you see people who have high blood pressure, they're not able to bring down due to distress, and from high blood pressure it can cause stroke. Then their body begins to deteriorate. So our body is equipped to handle things that are acute, fear of flight. Then our body rejuvenates and reacts and be able to and can go back to its normal state. But when it begins to be a long period of stress, stress factors that is continuously happening and there's no way to reset it, then that's when your body begins to break down.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So then one of the stresses some of you may have may be about your money. I like how I wrap that up together here. So, and we do have a hard stop at 7. So that's why I want to make sure that the pitch master herself can come on and grace us with how do we get our financial life together, whether you're looking for a new job next year, you want to raise, you want to start that business, you're trying to grow that business. This woman is the truth and the bomb. So there you go, Precious. Take it away, my dear.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Precious Williams. I'm the proud founder and CEO of Perfect Pitches by Precious. And when I tell you I'm delighted to be here, you have no idea. So I teach the art and science of the killer elevator pitch, media pitch, investor pitch, sales pitch, interview, and speaker pitch. If you've ever watched Shark Tank, you've already seen my work in actual action. 7 of my clients have successfully appeared on Shark Tank and were funded. I appeared on Shark Tank season 8 in 2016. I'm a 13-time national elevator pitch champion. And in fact, my last competition was at the Black Enterprise elevator pitch competition on May 16, 2013. Well, you know, your girl had to slay, and they called me the killer pitch master because I will help you slay all competition. I don't care who you got to go up against. I don't care how big the person is, how small, how big or large the company is. You can break them down to size. And I'm only telling you that because I'm from the inner city of St. Louis, Missouri. All I can do is show you better than I can tell you. And so when it comes to making money, I've made every mistake in the book. I'm not a financial advisor in case people start asking, that ain't me. My thing is showing you how to use your gifts, your talents, your skill sets, and your abilities to crush everything around you and to make it out. And in the pandemic, I always tell people, you need the fourth quarter quarterback, because when it's dark and hell is hot, you need somebody who's been in the trenches that will lead you, will give them ball, they're gonna run with it. And so I started speaking when I was 16 years old, and I was a professional speaker at 16, didn't even know it. It was getting paid a little bit of coin, a little bit of coin, never knowing that skill set would get me on MSNBC, Forbes magazine, CNN, Wall Street Journal, movies and documentaries around the world. I'm an international professional speaker and a corporate trainer for big tech companies and banks and financial services. I'm still Black on both sides. No Brazilian butt lifts, no six-pack abs, and yet I'm book busy and paid. And so, Cherie, I don't know if you knew, yesterday, on Saturday, I did my last speaking event this year, which was my hashtag Booked and Busy Speakers Boot Camp, which we were sold out. And I love teaching speakers how to go from having people ask you to speak for free and do all these virtual things that lead nowhere, getting paid for exposure. I'm like, dude, y'all can't expose me any more than I've already been exposed. I need to be in a place. I'm trying to be like Visa. I'm everywhere you want to be. So now that we're talking about it, how do you really make money right now? How do you get people to buy from you? How do you bait, attract, and close? So we all know that when you ever watch Shark Tank, you'll see them pitching. That does not teach you how to pitch. I promise you it does not. Having been on the show. So does anybody know what a pitch is? Like the basics of any kind of pitch, whether it's an elevator pitch, media pitch. For those of you who aren't the esteemed guests who do all of this, when you think about pitching, I'm gonna give you some basics and then we're gonna go into killer pitch mode, right? Because I don't need y'all to just do the basics up in these streets. I don't need y'all to do the basics, I need you to slay, okay? And I'm gonna put a link in the comments, and it's for my free pitch quiz. It's free, I promise it's free, pitchingforprofit.com. I'll put it in there, Queen, Cherie. But we have to know who you are. Like, who are you? What do you do? Like, for real, what do you do? Who do you serve? Like, who's your target market? Just so we know, don't say everybody, because everybody can't be. Like, there's no Walmart around me, but I'm very familiar with Target. And I like Target over Walmart. You know what I mean? Number 4, what is your secret sauce? So if you're able to provide a service, why should I choose you over anyone else? Why should I? There are a lot of florists out there. There are a lot of graphic designers out there. There are a lot of coaches out there. There are a lot of consultants. Why should I choose you? What do you bring to the table that I can't find in other people? Or do you have a right combination that really works? And number 5, what is your call to action? What should I do after I hear you? What are you really gonna say? What are you gonna say that's, oh, I need to go and check out her website. I need to see what program she has. So Atia dropped that already, that her program is starting in January. So y'all need to get all over that. She dropped her call to action. You need to check her out. Oliver, he dropped his website. So y'all need them herbs. We all need the herbs to feel better about ourselves. Right. And so that's just a basic pitch. And Cherie, if you will indulge me, I'll actually give a pitch so they can see it. And I always tell people, think about if Oprah gets on the elevator with you. What are you gonna say to her? You got 30 seconds. I'll tell you what you ain't gonna say to her. Oprah, I've been loving you for 25 years. I watch every episode. She hears that every day. Give her something. Give her something real that she can sink her teeth into and be like, I might want to take that. My assistant will take your cord. Oh, we're gonna get in contact with you. We're gonna do something. You want to blow her mind. So let's go into killer pitch mode. So once you understand the basics of pitching, it should have those things. I didn't tell you it has to be in that order. And I think that's what people get tripped out about. It sounds like, no, you ain't boring nobody. You want to go in and you want to start off with a bang and end with fireworks, Dr. Cheryl Wood. So number one, when you're taking into killer pitch mode, as great as I am as a person, why would they still want to rock with me? I just sound good to myself. What is the major challenge or problem your target market has? So before you offer your solution about how bad you is, like Michael Jackson and the Skirmahorn Station in Brooklyn, what's their real problem? And you have to be able to say it in their words, not your own. So you may think everybody needs herbs, everybody needs a wellness plan. Everybody needs that. But you all know there's a particular type of individual or group you need to be working with more than others. It may not be a 9-year-old. It may be a 42-year-old Black woman in Brooklyn who the washing and drying machine is going off while I'm talking. Y'all know, stress, man, stress. And then you offer the type of solution that you have, that you make it crystal clear. You're the only choice that matters. As a speaker, what type of speaker am I? I'm the killer pitch master. I'm not motivational, I'm not inspirational, and I'm damn sure not transformational. So if you want motivational, Les Brown, Tony Robbins, all of them. But when it comes to pitching, who you checking out? The killer pitch master. So that, what I'm telling you is create your own lane. So when I hear coaches say, I'm a coach, baby, you got to do something better than that. There's a lot of coaches out there. There's a lot of speakers, a lot of professors, whatever. What do you bring to the table? That is truly different. Because if you sound like everybody else, you're average, you're random, and you're ordinary, and you'll get treated as such. Why do people have such a problem with Kanye? Because Kanye will never be boxed in. You don't even know how he moves, and yet he's selling out stadiums, and the CD ain't even come out yet. Or the CD or the whatever project he had didn't come out. And so when you start to introduce yourself, start off with a question, a startling statistic, or a quote. You want to throw off the pattern that people are used to. People, my name is this is what I do. Nobody care. Give me a reason to care. So I'm going to share with you a pitch that's going to illustrate what I'm talking about. And Cherie, you already, because this is part of my Shark Tank one. Okay. Ladies, it's Valentine's Day, and you finally met the man of your dreams. You know what time it is. It's time to find some sexy lingerie to set the mood off nicely. But you weigh over 200 pounds. What's a big girl in the city supposed to do? Well, if you think like me, you went to Victoria's Secret and you found out they don't even make a bra in your size. So then you went to Ashley Stewart and Lane Bryant. You didn't really like the selection. Finally, as a last resort, you went to Macy's, where your choices were black, beige, and white. Yeah, what's a big girl supposed to do? Well, that's why I created Curvy Girls Lingerie. And Curvy Girls Lingerie with the ultimate shopping experience for full-figure divas and plus-size fashionistas. Now, I know what you're thinking, but let me make this very, very clear. There are over 40 million women size 14 or larger in the United States, just like me, and we all want pretty underwear. And it's just too bad that nobody makes it for us. So your next question is, where them dollars at? Where them dollars at? Well, in our first 6 months of operations, we crossed 6 figures with our innovative website, www.curvygirlslingerie.com. And that's with a Z and not an S, because we had to keep it funky, hot, and what? Fresh. And then we had the nerve to start a direct home party sales model. Yeah, this brain created a direct home party sales model. And then we had the audacity to go on a nationwide tour to introduce our lingerie to communities that would never hear about us. When I started, they told me I was too fat, too black, and didn't have an Ivy League degree. And even if all of that were true, My first pitch got me on national television. My second pitch got me $500,000 in 54 seconds. When I tell you, you've already seen the rest, now you've seen the best. They told me my company wouldn't make it, and yet I'm standing before the sharks right now. That tells you I am who I say I am, and I'm the female MacGyver of business. Someone had to create a lingerie line for women who look like me, and we celebrate the beauty of curvy women every day. Well, sharks, you can decide to climb on this ride if you want to, but we're still gonna be moving further and further ahead. My name is Precious Williams, and I am the proud founder and CEO of Curvy Girls Lingerie, the ultimate shopping experience for full-figure divas and plus-size fashionistas. So that was part of my pitch that was on Shark Tank, right? They loved it, ate it up. I said, okay, ladies, now let's get in formation. And the door opened, my full-figure divas came out. Mark Cuban was like, you go, girl. And Robert Hershevik was like, watching you was like watching a master at their craft. So finally, let me say this. Let's say you're at a networking event. And how does this help you make money? If you do a pitch right, which is a short, brief way of introducing yourself, you're gonna have people calling you. You're gonna have people in the chat. How can I get at you? You're gonna have people, it ain't gonna work for me, but it's gonna help someone else. Baby, I came out of homelessness and severe alcohol addiction, September 1st, 2018. I appeared on Shark Tank in 2016. I had a business partner trash me on social media. They told me I was dead and buried and I would never cross the stage again. Well, 3 years later, doing my first TED Talk, was just in the Wall Street Journal in November 2021, shot a MasterCard ad campaign for Priceless. And I've done everything I said I was going to do through the power of pitching. And it's not just getting in a press, it's utilizing that press to make more money, to have more impact on other people. And I also wrote Bad Bitches and Power Pitches for women entrepreneurs and speakers only. I'm a 3-time #1 best-selling author. And in those books, I wanted people to clutch the pearls at first and then go and read it. And then you get someone like Forbes magazine to review it. And then you're on billboards in Times Square. So that's how you do it. But I'm still a chubby girl wonder. I'm having extensive dental work to repair all the damage done when I was homeless and I lost the love of my life, that actor who inspired me to start my company. And I really live my dream because I'm focused. So if you want to sell, you want to bait, attract, and close, what is the challenge your target market is looking for? If they need them investor dollars, can you show them how to do it? And do it for themselves. If they're an introvert or an ambivert or an extrovert, can you look at someone's company as they're talking to you and be like, oh, you need to focus more on this and not that? If you have something to sell, are you selling it to the right audience? A lot of people think they have the right audience and they don't. I started off teaching people how to pitch. I never thought I'd be in Google, LinkedIn, Microsoft, Federal Reserve Bank, Intuit, QuickBook, and my newest client is Yelp. And I'm still Black on both sides. Change my wigs like I changed my underwear. It's an everyday occurrence. And no one ever says, I wish you would wear pearls in a black suit. So when I tell you I go all in, my TED Talk came out this year. It was called Reimagine Your Flaws as Your Secret Weapon. So if you want to appear perfect with a Birkin bag, I need you to drop the Birkin and become the Birkin. Invest in yourself. Invest in Atia to get your well-being plan together. Invest in Dr. Oliver. Get them herbs right. So when you step into the room, you're smelling good, you're looking good. And invest in Precious Williams, because I'm going to show you how to slay from the moment you enter that room to the time ching is in your bank account. You want to stay out all day long. So I'm going to stop. That's me.
I wanted to, because I know that you're on a time limit here. I want to make sure that people know that if you are pitching and you have a job, and let's say you working at a company, there are people, when I worked my last W-2 job, my boss's boss, the CEO and the COO knew who I was. Won't say intimately, but they knew me, right? And because of that, it opened up a lot of doors. Even when I went back like 8 years later to visit, they're like, you want your job back? And by that time, I could have like asked for any amount of money that I wanted, right?
Right.
So Precious gave you the, if you're starting your business, but some of you work in a corporate environment and you all need to pitch for a better position. Get into a mentorship program. I'm working on a business plan right now for a gentleman in the military that's trying to get more Black people to be officers in the military. Well, that takes mentorship, but to get that right mentor that can walk you through the door and get you to General Colin Powell status, that requires a pitch.
It does.
Right? It requires the right pitch for that mentor to say, I'm going to attach my name, my time, most of it is their name, to you, right? So Precious, before you leave, I did want you to kind of talk to people about that. And also, some of you need to pitch your spouse on being able to leave your job and start your business full time. You need to pitch your kids on getting on board. You need to pitch your mama on getting her will done. And you know, big mama on making sure that, that her paperwork is together so y'all don't lose your house and all of that and probate, etc. So Precious, I know that you're like short for time, but I wanted you to touch on that as well, because I don't want people to get lost in just the entrepreneurship with what you do.
Well, first of all, thank you for saying that, because I'm not brought into big companies to talk about entrepreneurship, because clearly they don't want that. So when it comes to, you know, pitching big mama or pitching to your husband or pitching to maybe superiors to even see you, is you have to speak up. So many of us, when I was growing up, you know, we were like, oh yeah, just do the work, be in the background. Well, you'll get left in the background, and they may intellectually know that you're doing the hard work, but it's the people that stay in their face. You know, so one of the things that I love to tell people to do is, every week, if something has happened, or every other week, make sure that you're writing an email to the VIP in your life. It could be whoever it is, and keep a running tally of what you're actually doing and the impact that it's actually having. So as you're doing that for the VIPs, whoever they are in your life, they can see that you're not talking a good game, but you're actually doing this. If you're in a work environment, spread it out in conversation, just bring it up randomly. But you know it's strategic, because you have to have strategy, cunning, and precision to it, because you want it in their head, baby, I know how the game is played. So if I don't let you know on a weekly, bi-weekly, or a monthly basis, when I come up for that review, I'm gonna run it down, but you've already heard this. So I'm not a worker bee. I'm someone that you can put on the front line to get it popping. When you're speaking to Big Mama, you know, we got to be deferential, because Big Mama might get with us. But also just explaining your passion, your energy, and you've done the research behind it, to know that even if it doesn't work, you're going to learn so much in the process. And I don't want to be 80 years old in a rocking chair like I could have been a contender. Matter of fact, I was a contender. And even if that didn't work, something else did. Something else did. And if you've ever been canceled, or you canceled yourself, bring yourself up out of that. If you believe in a higher power, you're supposed to be abundantly blessed so you can be a blessing to others. So you've been through some hard times, join the club. We all have. And let's go out there and kick butt. And that's why the 10K project is such a wonderful place to keep coming back to, and listening to the members and seeing how we all approach different challenges. And we've all been successful in our own way. There's not one way to be Black. I promise you, there's not. There's not one way to be a woman. So if we say anything today, eat the meat, spit out the bones, and keep it pushing.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. You know, I thank you, Cherie, for, you know, appeasing me with this member highlight. Because when I brought it up, I know initially Cherie was like, I don't know, like, are we going to be able to fill calendars, right? And I was like, I just want this sense of community to shine through, because you guys show out, right? We like when we do the Bet on Black pitches, you never cease to amaze me, right? You offer up solutions to these entrepreneurs. We've never had a session where an entrepreneur didn't say, wait a minute, let me write that down, or take a note based on something that someone in the community suggested how they should maximize the business. So like, you guys are so amazing that we wanted to highlight you. And we're going to continue doing this, you know, into 2022 as well, because I think it's important for all of us to see ourselves in each other, right? And to continue to encourage each other through sharing our experiences, sharing our journeys, you know, being able to know that there are other businesses out there that we can help. They don't always have to be raising money. You know, there are services, you know, products and that are also out there that we can support. You know, I'll go back to something Cherie always says: we buy Black, we need to invest Black. But we also need to remember that we don't need anyone else. We got this, right? We got this. All we need to do is continue this sense of community, and we got this. We can take care of ourselves. We can solve our problems. Even in the chat, all the things that you guys were saying in alignment with this conversation, sharing the herbs you're taking, sharing your experiences on the type of professionals you've gone to for help. That conversation we need to do more of. And so we're working with our marketing director also to get us in a forum where we can talk more. Right? We do a little bit of that on Facebook, but we don't do a whole lot of that on Facebook. But we really want this sense of community to open up to where you guys can start talking to each other and really sharing more about the day-to-day. So we're working on that for 2022 because we know it's important. We know that the magic here is you. It's not Cherie and I, it's all of you. And so we want to celebrate you continuously, and we want to continue to bring you amazing guests and amazing conversations so that you can get that well-being that Tia is talking about, right? That it is truly, a well-being. It's not just about financial health or physical, it is all of it. And that's what we want to help do our part to help get you there. So I just thank you guys for believing in us. I'll let you talk, Tia. I just thank you guys always for being here for us. And to our members, thank you so much. To anyone interested in being a member, the10kproject.com. More conversations like this take place. Sometimes they're more professional, sometimes they're more this, right? And all of it matters. Go ahead, Tia.
All right, so I want to thank you guys again. The order in which we went tonight is perfect for our viewers to follow. You want to begin with their wellness plan first, right? Because you see all of the energy, Precious brought. I heard people saying, well, what if I'm not comfortable with my voice? You got to work through this wellness part, right? Get your emotional healing, your counseling, your life coach, because we can only grow past the point that we have healed. So it doesn't matter if Precious says she would take on everyone on here and give you free services. If you haven't chopped down that emotional piece and you haven't healed in some areas, nothing that she says, none of her encouragement is going to help you move forward. You need to do the healing part. And doing that healing part, when you feel like I just bought some B12 things. I have some gummies that are for calmness, right? So as you're creating that plan, you can begin to look at those herbs like for, Dr. Oliver, right? And then once you begin to feel better for yourself, when you begin to focus on your wellness first, everything else you're going to have that confidence and stuff for. You're going to be able to, sit with, the other people or, have that courage to go live. So you want to start with your overall well-being, then begin to, your support, your coaches, your herbs, and then go out there and tackle that career, right? Or that business. So the flow that we went tonight, I would recommend that for a lot of the viewers, because once again, we cannot grow past a point that we have healed. Let's start the healing first.
That is a great point. Dr. Oliver?
Yes, this is awesome tonight. I was actually taking notes while Precious was writing. So I am an astute to always learn. I'm like a sponge. I love to absorb things. So taking notes while Tia was talking, taking notes while Precious was talking, Cherry, Miss Rivers. So I am so happy to be tonight. So I would urge everyone just keep supporting each other. So I was so excited when this came up. I think it was either early this year or last year. 10K project. I was super excited. I was like, yes, I've been looking for something like this. So I was like, because I've been looking for like other entrepreneurs like myself to support them to, because I'm like always reading for them, because I'm always reading about different things happening. They go to banks, Black houses are rated are not getting the same amount as white houses, and they're the same amount. They're the same kind of house. They go to banks, have greater businesses, businesses doing well, but they're not giving loans. So this was a good opportunity for me to get into. So I was super excited. So on my herbs, if you guys ever want to like talk or like need consultation, my consultation is free. So I love helping my Black community. I love, I don't mind I can stay hours talking just to make sure they're okay, and just make sure you're talking to your doctor. And if you ever want to order anything, most of the time online. You can send me a message on my website. The website again is www.olivex.store, S-T-O-R-E. So website again is O as orange, L as in life, I as in ink, V as in very, E as in egg, R as in rainbow, .store, S as in Sam, T as in Tom, O as in orange, R as in rainbow, and E as in egg. And yeah, feel free to contact me. I would love to talk to you guys. I'm a free resource. I'm a free resource, so I don't mind sharing my knowledge to as many people as I can, because I feel like we are our Black community needs a lot of us. So I am ready to do my own part.
That is awesome. I have a feeling, Dr. Oliver, you and T are going to be busy over the next few weeks and months, because people are going to reach out, because this is necessary. These conversations we have to have. So thank you guys so much for coming and joining us this evening.
Yes, thank you so much, everybody. Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, and we will see you on January 3rd. Thank you so much. Thank you, Tawana, for being the best co-founder on planet Earth. And thank you all for being just wonderful members, and we look forward to a wonderful and prosperous 2022. Take care. Oh, hold on. Oh, when your course launches, what did you say, T? I want to make sure I read this. Would you send me the info?
That was just for you guys, because they're working on it. So they're doing a landing page now. So that's why they can just follow me. Actually, when they launch in January, they'll be a part of it. But just for the—
And the other thing we can do is when it launches, we can bring you right on back so you can tell the people about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay. I just wanted to be sure, like, because they was having some problems with my landing page and stuff to actually sign up.
You have my email address, so email me. And
once
we'll
it gets
make
back
sure
up
to
and
do
running.
it.
Listen, this is your community.
Yeah, we will take care of that. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a good evening, everyone.